what better to do it with than doing it with Box? So let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Definitely. Hello everyone, welcome today to I'm gonna show you Metroid Fusion any percent, so let's get into the game, shall we? Can I get a countdown? 3, 2, 1, go! Let's go! Alright! Metroid Fusion opens with one of the main features of this game, and that's a lot of text to mesh through. And it's all in Japanese. Japanese version is 3 minutes faster on real time. Luckily, this game is judged by the in-game timer. In-game timer of Metroid Fusion is kind of peculiar because it doesn't count, doesn't show any in-game seconds. Here in this room here, I'm trying to get a difficult trick. Nice, got the optimal climb first try, so that's good. That climb itself is one of the main reset points early in the run, because you can lose a lot of time in there. First part of the game is a lot of text which gets you a little bit into the story of the game. Mostly on why we're here. Well, the reason why we're here is we were infected by parasites. These yellow blobs you will see in a second flash by. Right there. Oh, you don't even see it. It goes by a little fast, that cutscene. But basically, we were infected by these parasites, and everything of our suit had to be removed and was sent to the space station. And all of a sudden, an emergency alert of this space station came in. And these X-parasites here infect creatures. They copy everything of their hosts, kill them, and take on the appearance and powers of these hosts. But since our suit got removed, we are a little bit underpowered. We only have our power beam right now, which fires these nice little shots I've been using. So the Federation sends an update to us and we're gonna get it. A few things you see me do here is the wall jump. Jumping off a wall, you get boosted away from the wall, so you can't use it to gain height, but you can. It's a little bit faster than normally jumping through the air. What you also see me do is shooting right before I land on the platform, and this puts me down a pixel, an extra pixel, so I land a little bit quicker, and running on the ground is the fastest way of movement. So therefore, we do that for most of the landings. A few cases where we don't. Especially when we make very short landings, like here. And then here, well, we get on the elevator and we see a little cutscene. We see this a few times through the game. Yeah, it's all gibberish of Samus Aran, our protagonist, thinking to herself that the computer reminds her of this old commander she used to have. Let's see, gonna get a sub 3 minutes. Missiles, I think? Nah. 259, I'll take it. Dutch, my audio. Yeah. Well, we get our missiles. Normally, the first upgrade you get in most Metroid games is the morph ball, where you can morph into a ball. But here, this is one of the few games where we get the missiles first. And missiles are fine. We get 10 missiles from the start, and we use the missiles a lot throughout the run. Yeah, most of this early part of the game is just optimal movement. Whoops, not ledge grabbing. And using missiles to clear your obstacles. We pick up a few extra missile tanks right here. This one is in plain sight. Second one, jumped a little bit early, is a little bit hidden. But this is these are 2 missile tanks every runner picks up. And we'll be picking up quite a number of missile tanks throughout the run. Mostly for a boss somewhat in the later game, which is a very missile-intensive boss. No, that was not a double. You can get 2 missiles in per either round, but that's a pretty precise setup, and I didn't get it. But you can do that to skip a invulnerability round, and it's random how many beams the eye fires before it opens for you to shoot missiles in. And this early boss is basically, well, don't blink and shoot missiles as fast as you can. And if you get a roll from this boss, it's really slow amount of missiles. Come on, I need a green drop. There we go. Okay, let's get this set up right. That's a double. What I did there was getting 2 missiles in on a Core X round. And if you get 2 missiles in, you skip an invulnerability round, killing it faster. Unfortunately, I ran out of missiles there, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, now that we defeated the boss, we absorbed a new ability. The Morph Ball, as you can see. Well, Morph Ball is, of course, the bread and butter of any Metroid game. You use it to traverse tunnels, puzzles, and all the likes. Yeah, the missile doubles we use on the core axis is used many times throughout the game because every boss, almost every boss, spawns a core X. But the missile upgrades make the missile doubles harder as we upgrade our missiles throughout the game. One thing I should say, contrary to most other Metroid games, the main upgrades don't count towards the item percentage that is shown at the end of the game. So that means that we get the... and also we can't skip any major upgrades, so we always finish with the same equipment. The only thing that can differ is with how many E-tanks you finish and with how many missiles you finish, because you have to pick those up through expansions. So far I picked up three missile tanks and 1 energy tank. The missile tank I just picked up right before the elevator is a very optional one. The world record, it's a little bit... It's not that slow to pick it up, that missile. But it's entirely optional. Some people prefer to have more missiles. It's really runner preference if you pick it up or not. Out of the 3 world records, 3 world record runs, because, like I said, world record is determined by in-game time, and it's only it doesn't count any seconds, so it's about minutes. So we have 3 world record holders. One of them used 40 missiles total, and one of them used 45, and even one of them used 50, I think. Not completely sure. So there's a little bit of variations in the strategies there. This first sector we're about to enter is infested with X-Pirates, and it's a very missile-intensive sector. We use a lot of missiles, so our missile and health management are important. The reason our health management is important in this area is because if you're on full health, you are guaranteed to get the missile drops. The green drops, and the yellow drops are health drops. Right here I get good missile drops. And I use a little quick strat to kill almost everything in this room the fastest way possible. And really you want to keep moving as much as you can, so you try to kill everything that's in your way as quickly as possible. Here in this room you have a little bit of RNG about how many enemies are on the wall. I got really lucky there. Yeah, as you can see, I'm on full health, so you'll only see me getting, green drops here. And our goal is to kill these 5 X-Parasites spawning on these air humidity stabilizers. Okay. So yeah, it's all about movement. You see me do some optimizations left and right with wall jumps, shot cancels to land a little bit early, and strats to kill the stabilizers quickly. And what I want is to have a minimum of at least 3 missiles when I get to the eye door, because I need 3 to kill them. Whoops. I messed up a little bit. There we go. Right now I'm at 12 and I only need to kill one more enemy before I get to the Eider, so I'm really in good position in terms of missiles. Once again, you can do Eider doubles at this Eider, but the setup is tricky. I'm not gonna go for it actually. Just gonna wait it out. This is also the last Eider that takes 3 missiles to kill. The Eiders after this you can kill in one shot. So you only have to wait for 1 round of beams. You can get a maximum of 4 beams and a minimum of 0. So the best case obviously is if there's no waiting time in between the shots. And here we have this boss of this sector, and it's one of the first beam core axes where you have to shoot exactly in the eye. I'm trying to go for doubles here. I'm missing them all. It's tricky. It has a pretty precise timing. I got no doubles. But right here I get one of the most overpowered abilities in this game, the charge beam. Charge beam, if you charge your beam, you get a beam consisting out of 3 parts, 2 shot parts and a flare close to your gun. This beam kills most of the enemies and obstacles in your way. And it also allows us for some faster kills on certain bosses, if you employ it correctly. And if you start charging a beam before you enter a door and you let go, during the transition you fire a fully charged shot the first frame you enter into the room. And this stabilizer here, we passed the room we just entered on the first go as well, but it's faster to do it now since we have our charge beam. Yeah, we want to exit this sector with basically full health and nearly full missiles. And here you see me employing the charge shot tactic of letting go during the transition. And you see that I'm firing a fully charged shot when I exit the door. It's a really precise method, and it allows you to get certain shots, certain kills if you employ it correctly. And you also still see me do the shot cancels for ledges. And right now we're at the exit of this sector. And the computer notifies us that the parasites have escaped Notice that the parasites have escaped towards the other sections as well. So we're gonna see the threat that's threatening the space station. You may have noticed there in the cutscene earlier, this clone of ours with all of our old suits and abilities. So basically an overpowered version of us, currently. The SCX, the clone. Yeah. We can't fight that clone, so we'll have to, when we see her, we have to run away. But obviously, to increase our chances of survival, the Federation sends us towards certain upgrades throughout the game. Sector 2 is the first real dangerous sector. If you're off guard, then you can easily die here, because the enemies in this sector deal a ton of damage. So far we only have 1 E-tank, so we have a total of 200 HP. Of 199 actually. And the enemies deal 45 HP damage per hit. So if you get hit a lot by these red worm-like enemies you'll see soon, you'll die. So it's a matter of optimizing your movement and killing them without slowing down. Whoops. Here you see how much damage it takes. It really takes a chunk out. Also, I am mistiming. Whoa. Spin jump, please. You need a spin jump to wall jump. You can't straight jump off a wall. And here is something that's really optimal. The charge shot instantly kills a red worm, but you need 2 missiles to kill a red worm in one go. And timing those missiles in movement, especially when the worm is either moving towards you or away from you, is pretty precise. And it's, I mean, if you have a bad day, then you hit hit that second worm in the room every time. Here, my timing works out. Haven't hit that enemy yet. Oops. Yeah, it's all, and what I just did in that room over there with the whole da 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 is the unlocking the security level to unlock those blue doors I'm passing through. The colored doors are blocked by security levels, and we unlock them progressively throughout the game to gain more to gain access to more areas. Now that we have the bombs, we can uncover hidden passages such as this one. And because our path got blocked by the SEX, we haven't been face to face with the SEX yet, but that will change soon. But first we'll progress our way throughout the sector, because we will encounter a lot of several other things before we meet face to face with our evil clone. Yeah, you see me do a small optimization, so you don't want to morph too high off the ground. Otherwise you'll get the morphable bounce, which just wastes time. It's all about optimizing your movement. Nice little wall jump to skip those red pancake-like enemies. Could have jumped a little bit further there, but was afraid I would hit the enemy. But right now we're past the most dangerous part of this area. And we make our way to the next boss fight. And here you'll see me use the charge beam to quickly kill the eye door. Because if you hit the eye door at point blank range, you'll one-shot kill the eye door. That's mostly because of the flare, which spawns close to the cannon, like this. We'll use it in several locations. But here we have the boss fight. This boss fight is quite the RNG heavy one, because it can waste jumps. The fight can either take a total of 12 jumps or a minimum of 3. And for the first round he only wasted 0 jumps, so that's really good. Second round is 2, so far we're on a pretty decent count. And on the third it wastes a minimum of 2, so it's 4, 5, 6... It's 6. Overall 6 is a really good number. Anything below 7 is pretty good RNG, and on the last jump he always jumps up to immediately. And you saw me getting an early double there on that enemy, and then a second double to finish off the fight in 2 rounds. That core X fight is really nice to get optimally. And right now we obtained high jump and springboard, so we can jump in morphal form and we can jump higher, which allows us to get out of the sector. But of course I promised you an encounter with our evil twin. And we'll get to that, because, well, once again our evil twin has bombarded the way. And here, you come face to face with her. And you notice the music. It gets silent, you hear this heartbeat-like sound. Really scary. If you run into her right now and take damage from her, it's an instant kill. In 100% we have a few more E-tanks, so we can tank 1 hit from her. We can use that to get faster a little bit quicker. Yeah, right now we're all about escaping this sector. And it's all done by movements, basically wall jumps, morphs, bombings, shot cancel. You may also notice that the landing surrounding these cocoon-like enemies is a little bit strange. If you high jump into its side, you get instantly put on top for some reason. It's a weird physics thing in this game. And I use that to my advantage to get on top a little bit quicker. And here the computer says that unlocking the security levels was perhaps a little bit of a bad idea because the X-Parasites start invading other sectors like Sector 4 is, and Sector 4 is a sector entirely filled with water. And we're sent there to deal with the trouble that is arising in that area. Sector 4 is a special sector. You may have noticed of the few sectors we've visited up until now that they all start towards the right with a navigation room, a safe room and a recharge room. In Sector 4 they start off to the left with a navigation room, safe room and recharge room. So it's a little bit odd, so if you're really on autopilot, some runners tend to go right when they actually have to go left and run into the wall and be ashamed that they ran into a wall because yeah, they haven't been paying attention. Yeah, this sector, some power cables have snapped, so the water is electrified. So yeah, you take damage while being in water. You won't see it in the first room, but in the second room, you'll definitely see that I'm dodging the water. But you also see what I can do with my charge beam. Normally, if you release B and shoot that way, you break out of spin. But if I use charge a shot and fire, press R to select my missiles, it fires the charge shot without breaking me out of spin or changing my movement state. So I use that to spin jump and shoot those enemies in the previous room. It's an optimization. Yeah, I couldn't really dodge that one. That spitter was a little bit in the way. Yeah, as you can see, the charge beam shots consist of two parts. And you can use that to clear two blocks at once, because the first part of the shot kills first block and the second part kills second block. Originally in the sector we've been sent here to investigate this creature that attacks with high speed, but apparently only its skeleton remains, so something is going on. I may have guessed that we're gonna run into another boss fight. Using the X-invested against the X-invested version of that creature. And Ceres attacks, well, starts out, every fight with Ceres starts out the same. He always goes on top. And the thing is, Ceres has 50 HP and the entire charge shot plus flare deals 25 damage. I missed the flare on the first fight, so that's why he's still blue. But if you aim your shot properly, then you can get a 2-round. I'm at the very least gonna get a 3-round. This is a 3-round, so once again I'm going for initial double. Missed that. But I'm gonna set up and see if I get some double somewhere. Probably not. But yeah, fights so far are pretty straight. If you land into the water in this fight, it's really bad because the water slows down your movements and you get hit a lot by the enemy, so it's really dangerous if you land in there. But if you're paying attention properly, then it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Whoops. To dodge the water. What I tried to do there was fit a Shine Spark an ability of our newly acquired speed booster ability into that small gap by matching A. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to Shine Spark sideways. What a Shine Spark is, with the speed booster ability, if you run for a while, at a certain point you start breaking through things and going really fast. Really nice ability. Oops. But if you press down, you can store this energy and release it when you double press A. That's an ability we use frequently. Although usually just the speed boost is faster because the Shine Spark has a long startup and ending animation. Because it starts up with this getting off the ground thing and ends with a bonk. And those waste a second each. So it's most of the time it's pretty slow to Shine Spark. What I could have done here, if I bounce properly and more if at the right time, I can Shine Spark 1 pixel off the ground, and then I can immediately go to the left instead of having to charge another speed boost to go. But yeah, we got our speed boost back. We solved the issues in Sector 4. So now we're gonna get sent to yet another area. The Federation wants our chances of survival to be high enough. So that's why they want to get us another set of upgrades. But unfortunately, the data room in the last sector we visited has been blocked off by the SCX. So we have to resort to to a different data room in Sector 3. So that's where we get sent to. And the nice thing about this navigation room, safe room and recharge room at the start of each sector is that it's long enough to begin and store a speed boost. So we can always exit a sector using a Shine Spark from here on out. It also makes this elevator segment a lot quicker. Whoops. Almost missed the elevator. But yeah, speed boost is used a lot throughout the game. It really speeds up some segments. Once again, get this whole text. We're supposed to get the super missiles in the sector. Super missile in other Metroids, you would get the super missiles as a separate ammo count, but in this game the missile upgrades stack as well. So your missiles get all upgraded towards super missiles. So your missiles just get stronger, basically. Yeah, Shine Sparks is used several times to great effect to speed up a few segments here. But before we can reach that data room, we had to clear this security level as well. At this point, we know that opening other security levels opens up different sectors, but also lets in the X-Parasites in the other areas. What I'm trying to do here is, and failed, is do a precise Shine Spark storage, a Shine Break. Missed it by a hair there. Gonna try it one more time, and otherwise I'll stick to the normal, to the safe strats. This is what I want. Basically what happened there, I Shine Spark and Break a block through that spark, and also store a spark simultaneously, which allows me to charge and store that spark. Wanted to show that off. It's really slow if you fill it once, but figured I should at least show that off. Yeah, these barriers you see on the left, we can't get through them currently. But well, that will change when we get super missiles. What I'm trying to do here is also another difficult trick. You saw me let go of the D-pad there and slide a little bit on top of that platform to activate the upgrade pickup a little bit earlier. What I tried to do there was mash to get a spark. You have 1 frame to get that spark, so it's a really precise trick. Can save you a little bit of time. But once again, after getting super missiles, our path get blocks off, and here we fight with a boss I'm all too familiar with. Say hi to Box. Box is has pretty set some really set patterns of dodging and attacking. There's almost no RNG in this boss, and this could have been a little bit better. But overall, I'll take this. This fight. So yeah, Box luckily opened up a way for us. He flats, so we'll meet him later. And I missed that spark completely. What I want for next sector is to have a minimum of 3 missiles. I need 3 super missiles to clear a barrier in the next sector. So, and I have 4 right now, so that's pretty alright. Next sector is a really dangerous one for several reasons. One, and well, actually 2 reasons. 3 reasons, I should say. It has blue X parasites. Blue X parasites are cold infested parasites, and because we got healed, so a little bit of backstory: we got infested by X parasites in the beginning, and X parasites are the natural predator to X parasites are the Metroids. Metroids are these jellyfish-like creatures that suck the energy out of any living creature. But they can really deal effectively with the X parasites. Because with the Metroids at this point in the series are somewhat extinct, the X parasites have flourished again, and X parasites, like I said, infest the creature and kill it from the inside, copy its abilities and appearance. But the Metroids from the last Metroid, which featured in Super Metroid, listed on the shirt I'm wearing, a few cells remain, and it was used to create a vaccine to cure our main protagonist of the X-Parasite infection. And since then, she can absorb X-Parasite, but as a result, Metroids are weak to cold, weak to the ice beam. As a result, she also got vulnerable to cold. And these blue X-Parasites in the sector make use of cold, so they deal damage when you absorb them. But that can be changed once we get the Varia suits, which is the next upgrade we're gonna pick up. You also see me randomly bombing a wall here. That's for a missile pickup we'll do on the way out. It's all planned. And here we see the blue parasite. They can be stunned by shots. If you, for some reason, run into them, they deal 80 damage, 80 hit points damage per piece. So yeah, you really don't want to absorb them right now. Problem is, they're a little bit in the way, this one, so I had to absorb that one. But I should be fine from here on out. Little nice shine spark, and here we get an energy tank. And the nice thing about picking up energy tanks is that it restores your health to full. And the second reason why this sector is dangerous is, well, this encounter. Another SAX encounter. We see our evil twin here. And you notice I uncovered these blocks with bombs there. These are power bomb blocks, and by this point we don't have the power bomb upgrade yet. She has. And we're gonna deal with this encounter here. What has happened several times to me is that I jumped too early and jumped into our nice evil twin there, and that deals enough damage to insta-kill me. So that's one dangerous thing I consider dangerous. But yeah, it's pretty easy to dodge her. The artificial intelligence of the SCX encounters is not very well made, I should say. And of course, we get to the data room, but we see this Core X absorbing our upgrade. So we're gonna fight that Core X, the Mega Core X. Yeah, you really want to get the flare shots inside of her, but my manipulation didn't really work out, so I had to do some extra shots. Luckily, that fight goes relatively quick. Because I got the super missiles, my missiles now travel a little bit faster and also have a lot more recharge time in between missiles, so it's harder to get double missiles on the core X fights. And that changes for every missile upgrade we get from here on out, so it gets progressively harder to get doubles on the I core. We got the Barrier suit. It has ugly color, but it allows us to absorb these blue core X thingies, and they heal a lot more hit points than just the normal yellow, the regular yellow ones. You also see a lot more enemies in this sector on the way out. These blue, like enemies spouting gas, the puffers, are the most annoying one. They can, if you enter a room, enemy can travel in 2 different directions if it's on the ground. If it's a puffer, it's airborne, so it can travel in 4 separate different directions. And the problem is, if you damage them, they spout gas, damaging you, usually blocking your movements, which is not really good. But on the way out, it's just a matter of killing everything in the way, dodging those puffers. And of course, this one blocks my morph ball tunnel. This one wall I bombed earlier to pick up this missile tank right now. Relatively quick missile tank to pick up. And this exit is all about firing missiles and jumping. So yeah, another advantage of the various suits, like I said, we're not regularly vulnerable to cold anymore. We are still damaged by the ice beam, which our evil twin possesses. But if we're in a cold area, we don't take damage any longer. So we can go to Sector 5, and Sector 5 also contains a data room, where we can download more upgrades to our ever-expanding arsenal of tricks. And the next upgrade we're gonna get, well, the Federation can't really develop an ice beam upgrade for us now, because we're vulnerable to cold. Unless we recover ice beam naturally through core X fights. But they can add a freezing effect to our missiles. So we're gonna pick up that upgrade now. In the meantime, maybe our lovely host can tell us something about the BSG or our charity.
Sure, I can. We are a beneficiary of the Dutch Cancer Society, a charity organization that strives for less cancer, more research, and a better quality of life for those already fighting the disease. 90% of your donations go towards the Dutch Cancer Society, so be sure to get your donations in. Talking about that, like last year, we'll be doing another BSG annual. This will be held in Blado again, running from August 19th through the 25th. Submissions for this are currently open, so be sure to get your submissions in for a full week of BSG.
Yeah, really looking forward to that event during the summer.
Me too.
Definitely. Now, right now we're in Sector 5. Problem is the yellow doors are still blocked. It's the one of the 2 remaining security levels that are still blocked. So we have to make our way around the door, which is a not too well hidden path we just bombed open. In the first room you saw, we went through it really quickly because our combination of our charge beam and missile kills everything in one shot on the way. The problem is, this is gonna change when we pick up the ice missiles, because the thing is, whereas the normal super missiles would one hit kill those enemies, the ice missile the first ice missile just freezes those enemies. So it gets a little bit trickier to get around enemies. So we can't really dodge any upgrades in this game, because the game has a really strict event trigger system. We can't do anything out of order. This is by far the most linear Metroid game in the series. But there's still a lot of exploration involved inside the sector, so there are a lot of upgrades hidden. You can really find items to your heart's content. Here I'm doing a very precise setup for a certain speed boost, because If I start too far to the left, I run into the wall because I can't go open the gate in time. If I'm starting too far to the right, I don't get the speed boost in time and get hit by the enemy. So it's really a precise setup. And here I really hope to remain good on health and missiles because, well, we got getting a little bit of crap. Sorry, I am pulling something very rare for a Metroid runner. The thing is, you have to loop several times around in this sector, and what has happened to some of the best of runners and what is happening to me right now is that I'm completely forgetting to pick up the upgrade. Yeah, really, slow clap for that. That's really a bad thing to do, because it's just a time waste. Yeah, the thing is, you visit this sector 3 times, and you loop through that specific room at least 6 times. So at some point you are a little bit confused what you're supposed to be doing and which way you should be going. I completely forgot to pick up the upgrade there. So yeah.
Well, I sort of have that anyway with a Metroid game. What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going?
Well, if you play this game in English, you really get pointed towards where you need to go. So in this sense, this game is really helpful towards the beginning player. In that sense, this Metroid game is definitely one for the beginner Metroid players out there. But yeah. Like I said before, I really want to be all stocked up on health and missiles because, well, we're gonna get into things are gonna get a little bit hot after a few rooms from here. You'll soon see why, and this time it will happen because I'm seeing all the triggers being met, which is in the form of this enemy appearing in the background. But here you see what I meant. It really makes a difference. Emergency in Sector 3. Sector 3 is the heat sector we visited a while ago where we fought my arch nemesis in name, Box. But this time there's a meltdown in the energy reactor in Sector 3. And that means that in about 6 minutes, if we don't do anything, the ship is gonna blow up. So yeah, this is basically get from one point to the game to the other point in the game as fast, as quickly as possible to solve this issue. Meltdown sequence is really movement intensive. We don't have to stop at any navigation room. It's just get down there as quickly as you can. And this time we also have the barrier suit, so we don't take damage in the overheated rooms as well. And I really have to actively remind myself to not stop at a navigation room. That also has happened in the past. Really a shame because it wastes it will mostly waste real time. In-game time, it isn't that much of a time loss. But yeah, you really don't want to stop at a navigation room. Here we don't care about the shine break because we're going down instead of going up. And it's just mashing missiles to get down as quickly as possible. Here you can get hit by 5 minutes, and if you don't hold up, you get boosted off of the railing, and you fall into the lava, taking a lot of damage. Yeah, this segment is all about optimal movement. Okay. Got the jump extent. What I did, if you spin jump in the air and you shoot, your vertical movement gets reset, giving you a little bit more airtime, allowing you to make long distance a little bit easier. And here I use this enemy as a platform, get up there a little bit quicker. We're almost at the end of this meltdown sequence. This is another Beam Core X fight, and I'm gonna try to get double so I can. Or at the very least, a sweet spot. No doubles. And there we have it. This Core X gives us the wide beam, widens our beam, increases our damage output. And a 421 meltdown time. Pretty good, pretty decent. Well, 21, sorry Captain. The world record is 437, I think. That's really fast. It's really fast. You can go really fast through this sector. It's also involves the eye door for luck. The eye door for me opened instantly, so I didn't lose much time there. But it can happen that the eye door takes 4 beams to open, and that wastes a few seconds each beam. That can be really frustrating as a runner. So yeah, right now we make our way out of the sector. We get boosted a little forward by this lava pillar, which is nice. It's a little time save. You can also, if you're in the wrong position, get boosted back. And that's obviously not what you want to see. Yeah, here I'm gonna try to set up for a... Oops. Didn't get it, but gonna do some fancy strats anyway. Using these stretches to make my way up the ladders a little bit quicker. Much faster than climbing the ladder, I can tell you that much. So yeah, we cleared, we restored the reactor. So now we're just gonna make our way back to the entrance and get our next objectives. And our next objective is a very nice one. I'm wearing a Super Metroid t-shirt, and one of the main donation bit wars, if Super Metroid is at any Games on Quick or at any BSG really, is save or kill the animals. In Metroid Fusion, it's canon that the animals were actually saved on the planet Zebus. So they actually appear here in this game, and in this game you actually have to save them. You can't kill them. Whoops. Obviously I sparked in the wrong direction there. That happens when you don't press the proper inputs. Really bad thing, waste time. Don't do that at home, kids. So yeah, but the thing is, we're gonna check out some... the in-game explanation is there are some bioforms, life forms detected in the observation deck at the top of the main deck. And we're supposed to check it out what it is. So yeah, we're gonna get a little bit back on the early part of the game. This is the first elevator we went down to. And the thing is, we can traverse it a little bit quicker with our array of upgrades we've been receiving over the course of the run so far. High jump is really helpful, for example. Whoops. Yeah, the observation deck is up here. For the observation deck, we do a few carefully timed speed boosts, and it's praying that the animals get quickly out of their shelter. They can waste a lot of time. What I tried to do there was go for a wall jump and very precise jump extent through shot cancelling. That's really precise, but if you get it, you can it saves you having to wait for the lower stretchy. What I did there, I set up my running in such a way that I get the shine break as I am leaving the block. So that allows me to... Holy moly. That's the fastest animals I've ever seen in my entire life. They went out the door instantly. This is the fastest animals pattern you can get in this game. It's really rare. Really, really, really rare. I'm amazed. Really. Because they can waste you up to 15 seconds easily. They really are assholes in this game, actually. Which I shouldn't say because that's language, but hey. RPG birds, basically. All in all, we have saved the animals. We have confirmed that these life signs were not humans, because obviously this spaceship we're visiting on is actually a laboratory. So a lot of humans used to work here, but they got devoured by the X-parasites. Mostly for their knowledge or for food. Really sad. Rest in peace, never forget. But we're on our way to clear this space station from the X-parasites. And for that we get sent to yet another upgrade. And that's an upgrade we have already seen in action, but not used by ourselves. But by our evil twin, which is the power bomb upgrades. Power bombs clear those are mostly used to clear power bomb blocks. I mean, you get 10 from the get-go of getting the upgrades, and those 10 are all you need for the rest of the game, because they get restored basically at every boss fight. So you only need those. You don't need to pick up any power bomb expansions for this category. You only need extra power bombs to get extra power bombs tanks, mostly. You get way too many in this game, whereas in the other Game Boy Advance Metroid game, Zero Mission, you get way less. And there you have to be really precise with your power bomb management. But to pick it up, we're gonna do a little. We're gonna try a little faster strat. And I probably messed it up. Yeah, I messed it up because I accidentally did a jump extend. What I could have done there, if I was really fast, I could have sparked through the door and sparked through the right. That would save me That would save me a second, I think. If you're doing a really optimum way of movement, you don't save that much time. But that's pretty much Tess work you're talking about. Tess, for those of you who are not aware, is the tool-assisted speedruns, where you can basically decide per frame what you want to input. Nice going there, Tex. And can control the game with godlike human performance. Right now, this little freeze-like thing we could freeze is gone. So now we have to go down. And we lay this power bomb there for no reason, other than to dodge this SCX encounter. There we go. The beam you saw being shot there was of our SCX brethren. But since we're fast enough, we don't see her. Right there. But if you're not careful and get hit by the beam, it can kill you. So really not some place, really a place where you still need to pay attention. And the rest of the exits of the sector is pretty much the same as we did it last time, when I accidentally almost skipped getting the upgrades. And this time we don't need to go through to the data room, because we've already been there to pick up the power bombs. Also, I'm really confused about the strats right now, but we'll be fine. This room can really mess you up. If you jump too early and you get hit by the shots, you fall all the way down, and that's can waste you a lot of time. So you really need to time your jumps really carefully. There's a thing like going too fast in this game, surprisingly enough. Yeah, right now we're being sent back to our ship, all the way back to where we basically started the speedrun. Because the computer has some news for us to tell there. Sure, we'll oblige. We can make our way back to the main elevator, go up, and then we'll probably make our way back to the ship. But something weird happens along the way. The power shuts down. So we have to go the adventurous route. Here we see an enemy that might be familiar from different Metroid games. Meh, not really much happening right now. Trust me, we will see that one again later. And we'll hear that one again later, definitely. But yeah, right now... I hope that's high enough. Yeah, okay. Important is that those power bomb blocks on the left are cleared. Can't really progress right now after I can only progress after this story trigger. You also notice that I'm gonna take the save here, and I'm also taking the save after the ship because that skips me having to go through the text again. It's a safety save. It's the most common safety save because you get prompted for a save anyways when you get here. Okay. Trigger again. Yeah, there we go. I will also get free refill from the ship, which is very kind. And no, I don't need to read that again. So we'll be on our way. The computer has said that the power has been outed. It has safeguarded the animals at our ship, so they're hanging in there. Pretty cool. And we gotta find a way to restore power to the station. And this is where the game really starts to ramp up the difficulty a bit. We're gonna get a few bosses in short succession, more or less. Picking up some extra health. That E-tank is the freest E-tank you can get, aside from the very first one that we pick up. Yeah, those space barriers deal a little bit of damage, but it's fine. We'll be healed soon by the eye-door anyway. Eye-doors drop red axes, and at this ammo and health management, they completely refill everything. Completely restock my energy and my missiles. This boss, I'm gonna not say too much because I really need to concentrate for this one. Because this is a difficult fight. You can easily die if you're not paying attention. I'm gonna take it really safe. Normally the fastest way to trigger the boss is to... This is good. One round. And this is pure randomness, this volleyball segment. Because it also spits out these things that might block your missiles. Okay, this is pretty decent. Yeah, but the most difficult part is done about this boss fight. Because the core X fight is straightforward. That was no double, or was it? That was actually a double. Nice. Okay. Whew. This boss is pretty dangerous because it is random how many times he swoops down before he opens his mouth and you can shoot him. And on the second segment he jumps randomly everywhere and spits things, and that's also a really dangerous part. Really takes practice and a lot of luck to get through that segment fast. This fight went reasonably quick. He only he opened his mouth on the second try, so that's still somewhat quick. The quicker strat would be to jump into its mouth and quickly match the directional inputs to get free. That would make those swooping down rounds quicker. Unfortunately, I can't really do that on my GBA, and I could do it on the analog stick of my GameCube controller, but I ripped that one during practice. Kinda broke my analog stick. But it's fine, I can do it without. It doesn't save that much time. Yeah, this SCX encounter, it's all a matter of planning out your movement properly, and it's really safe. There's a room right ahead where you can hide for the SCX, and then the SCX goes away and leaves you be. But you don't have to do that. You can immediately shoot that block in the ground and progress. The SCX won't follow you. It apparently can't jump through one block wide holes. If you ledge grab inside that hole, it starts jumping around that hole. It's really funny. They made a YouTube compilation of that, complete with Benny Hill music. It's really an entertaining watch. I can recommend it. Yeah, like I said, we're a little bit in a boss gauntlet, so we have the next boss already. I'm barely done talking about the last boss, and we're already at the next one. This one is the easiest boss in the game. And it takes 48 missiles to get the main fight down. And I have a total of 45 maximum, so I'm doing a little bit of power bombs and charge beams to get, oops, some extra to save me some missiles. And it's all a matter of timing your jumps and just keep mashing. I'm once again trying to get doubles, but I'm not really succeeding, I think. Oh well, this fight is the easiest boss fight, preceded by one of the most difficult boss fights of the game. Succeeded by once again another difficult boss fight. Will be coming up in a bit. But yeah, we defeated this boss around the hour mark, so we're definitely on a pretty good, pretty decent pace. Not a PvP pace, I can tell you that much, but definitely on a pretty okay pace. Yeah, right now we're exiting Sector 2 through the main shaft and power reactor. We've snuck into Sector 2. And right here, the cocoons have hatched into these Sky Hunter-like things. And they deal, if you run into them with their stinger forward, they deal 147 HP damage, which is 1.5 E-tank. Note that I have 4 to 5 of them. So that's really a lot. They're the most dangerous encounter, especially when you're doing categories like low percent, where you don't pick up any E-tanks and only have 100 health to begin with. In that category, they're basically one-hit kill. Note that the leaderboard for Metroid Fusion only accepts, for the any percent category, only accepts single segment runs. So if you die, basically your run is done. So in the normal game we don't save. Obviously I'm taking a few safety saves just for marathon safety. But so far I haven't needed any of them. And so far it's going pretty okay. The thing is, in Sector 5, when we exited right before the whole meltdown sequence race against the clock, we saw this shadow-like enemy appearing in the background. Well, we're about to face that. That will be our next boss. And that next boss has a very appropriate name. Nightmare. A nightmare is for casual players definitely a nightmare. And this Shine Spark sequence, Shine Spark here I'm doing here, by the way, is the longest in the run. Goes through quite a number of rooms. It's always nice if you can get that. It's also... There's only one way to do that faster, and there's one player in the Metroid community who has successfully done the faster way, I think. Not completely sure. But you can do a space boost, and that's combining the space jump we picked up from Yakuza, the spider-like boss, with the speed boost. That basically allows for a quicker space boost, space jump through the air, which can also clear the speed blocks. So that's really fast, some fast movement you can get there. So yeah, we're almost up to our next boss. And because of the ice has melted, this whole sector is a little bit flooded with water. That's 100% strat, get the ledge grab there. Wanted to show that off for funsies. Pretty easy. If you miss that, you have to fight this fight and then loop all the way back again. This boss has a very specific setup. That's for phase 1. A fully charged plasma shot on that thing ends the first phase instantly. And you really need to pump this guy full with missiles. We picked a plasma beam from the previous boss, but the thing is, this plasma beam deals damage for each frame it's inside an enemy. But the problem is that Nightmare's hitbox only consists of one frame, the face. So yeah, the beam is not as good here, so we need to use missiles. Missed the double. But yeah, Nightmare Its movement may seem random in the main fight, but it's really just follows your movements. So if you move the same way, Nightmare will respond the same way, and that was a nice sweet spot. Sweet spot, I haven't explained that yet, is when you spawn the core X kill in the exact spot where you pick it up. Otherwise, you can't pick it up and it floats towards the spot where you can pick it up. And yeah, that nice fight there got us the gravity suit, which allows us to move just as quick in water. And I will run into the door. Nice going. Yeah, okay. I have to do this the slower way. And that means we can also charge Shine Sparks and all the likes underwater and can use space jump. And we need a speed boost here to get out of this sector, basically, because we can't go back the way we went in. We fell down a large pillar of water below Carimble blocks. Can't get back out the same way. So we take a little shortcut through Sector 4. This is the underwater sector. This is the lower part, and it's really a nice aquatic environment. The Nightmare fight, the boss we just fought, is a pretty difficult one, but this sector is dangerous for different reasons, because you're really off guard after that fight, most likely. A little bit too overconfident, and these enemies actually deal quite the number of damage, I can attest. And yeah, to get out of this, we unlock our final security level in this game, the red doors. So we'll finally see what's behind the red doors. Basically our way out for now. You see more of it in the next sector.
So can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
You might have mentioned this before, but I noticed whilst looking at the leaderboard that some of the times, in-game times, are completely similar, but then the real time is 3 minutes apart.
Yes.
Can you explain why?
I can definitely explain why. It's one thing that adds to this is the version that you're using. Japanese version has faster scrolling text and less text, so it's 3 minutes faster RTA just because of that. That's one thing. And the in-game timer doesn't run through things like door transitions and emulators handle lag a little bit differently. So there are many factors that factor into the real time, but don't affect the in-game time. And another thing is also the text meshing we're doing throughout the game. Clearing out those text boxes is quite a skill. If you're not good at it, you can easily lose a lot of time on that. And wow, this hasn't happened before. Let me quickly make my way up there. Just a sec. There we go. Okay. I fell down. But yeah, a lot of things influence the real time, but don't influence the in-game time. So that's why there's a lot of variance between those things on the leaderboard. But the main difference is in the version. Japanese version is 3 minutes faster than the English version.
But then technically they use the in-game time for the leaderboard.
They use the in-game time to determine the leaderboard. RTA is used for breaking ties if you have to seed for tournaments and the likes.
Fair enough, thank you.
There's one faster version that does exist is the Chinese version, but we aren't sure it's actually existing or if it's just a ROM hack, because Chinese cartridges are really rare. So we haven't gotten our own hands on one of those. So what we really but the Chinese version, from what we tested using flashcards and emulators, is another 2 minutes faster than the Japanese version. But we don't allow it for now because we aren't really sure it exists. Or at least it's incredibly... If it exists, it's incredibly rare. It has even faster text scrolling and even less text than the Japanese version. Little fun fact I should also mention is that the Japanese version was released later than the English version. So several glitches are patched in this version of the game. Whoops. What you saw me do there was one of these space boosts. Basically a combination of a space jump and a speed boost. But it's like I said, it's generally faster than a Shine Spark due to the lack of startup and bonking animation. Yeah, right now we're just being sent to deal with our good friend Box from earlier in the game. The robot boss. But right now he's infected by X-Parasites, so the fight gets a little bit spiced up. And it's a rather dangerous fight that I actually made a safety save right before it, if need be. Because it can go south really fast on that boss fight. Yes, we can't enter without proper authorization, but you'll see soon that we don't really need that authorization. We're first gonna fight our lovely boss robot. And it's similar to the last fight. Okay. But the thing is, this room is a little bit different in height, so the missile positioning is a little bit different. The water is electrified by Box, so it's a little bit more dangerous to be on the ground. Okay, that's not good. Shoot. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Box spawns another Beam Core X. We can't set up for doubles on this fight because the room is too low. Even the TAS struggles to get those. But yeah, so far that was the X version of Box, also known as Xbox in the community. I like that joke. And yeah, Xbox gives us the Wave Beam. And you notice that gates, that pesky gates, still shouting no entry without authorization. Yeah, we can just open the gate because our beam can now travel through walls thanks to the Wave Beam. And we can just explore what's here. And you may notice that I've said that the Metroids at this point in the series are somewhat extinct. Well, not completely. You see here, you see in this hidden laboratory, you see the Metroids. We also see another enemy of ours, who has followed us into the sector. The SCX. And I may have mentioned that the Metroids are the natural predators of the X-Parasites, so they just devour the SCX. And the thing is, the thing's gonna blow, but yeah, getting around these Metroids can be a little bit annoying at times. Okay, within 10 seconds, that's decent. The fastest you can do that is 5 seconds, but it also depends on the positioning of the Metroids. If you space jump into a Metroids on the way, you break out of space jump and fall down. Yeah, the computer notes that we weren't supposed to get there because it's a secret. Apparently, the Federation has a secret Metroid breeding program. They basically took the cells from the last Metroid and they cloned it. So yeah. And they mentioned that one of the SCX has followed us, and then we ask, one, are there more? And yeah, because yes, apparently that thing has multiplied several more times, and there are at least 10 SCX enemies walking around the ship. So 10 evil clones of ours walking with overpowered equipment. Which is really something you desire. Not. So yeah, the computer says, make your way to the top of the ship, we'll deal with this later. And so we make our way into Sector 1 again. this hidden part of Sector 1 is really the most reminiscent of the earlier Metroid games. Because this looks a little bit like Turian in Zero Mission and Super Metroid. Mechanical, artificial, all metal stuff, acids, all that fun stuff. But we really can't make our way out yet because we need one more upgrade. It's the last upgrade we'll be getting this game. And just a little heads up for our audio guy. Enjoy the next boss. You're really gonna like it. Because that's the loudest boss in this entire game. I recommend you listen to that with headphones on. It's amazing. Because you saw this shady ice-like figure looking a little bit like Ridley. Well, guess what? Hey! There we are. Yeah. And the thing is, we have Wave Beam and Plasma Beam. And Wave Plasma deals damage for each frame it goes through the enemy. So if you fire the shot diagonally through Ridley, it deals a ton of damage. So Beams is definitely the fastest way to deal damage here. Yeah, sorry for the loud screams, it's part of the game. Can't really help that much. And that's Ridley down. And we're about to get our last upgrade and one of the most powerful upgrades in the Metroid series. And the coolest one in my opinion. Got a double. Screw Attack. Screw Attack is if you spin jump into any normal enemy besides bosses, well, they're dead. You'll see it in this area. There they go, there they go, there they go. Ah, no full genocide. It's a shame. Some runners make it a challenge to not harm any of those rippers. I tend to just kill all of them for the heck of it. I'm a little bit barbaric in that sense. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, but since we now have Screw Attack, we can make our way to the top of Sector 1 once again. Because we can now jump through these blocks. And through those enemies. Also lovely. There we go. Everything dies on the way. Whoops. Missed the wave beam shot. But that's fine. I mean, the nice thing about Screw Attack in this version is that nothing can harm you while you're in Screw Attack mode. This is really important because we're gonna use that strat for the final boss, which is coming up soon-ish. And I say soon-ish for a reason. Because there is one thing left before the final boss. Maybe one of the most annoying things about this game. Even on Japanese version it's annoying. It's a huge, big, almost 2 minutes long text mesh. So yeah. Really, really enjoyable, especially if you read it in Japanese. I'm learning Japanese, but I can't read it yet at that level, so you're just gonna have to enjoy this segment here. Let's get ready for it. Mashing all the way through the dialogue. Little bit of backstory here. The Federation is interested in the X-Parasite. They want to capture it, which is really a bad idea. And our protagonist heavily protests. And she wants to move and try to blow up this ship and everything on it, every X-Parasite. But the computer, after this next screen, will stop her. And it turns out that the computer was actually the digitized mind of her old commander all along. And he's a little bit more reasonable. and allows her to alter the course of this laboratory to crash into the SR-388, the planet below, to blow up the planet and with all the parasites on it, and the spaceship with all the parasites on them, which should make the X-parasites extinct. So yeah, we'll be sent off on our final mission. After this wall of text, I should say. Because my god, this takes long.
Well, maybe I can take some of that time
Go
by
ahead.
talking about our marathon by our sister organization UKSG, because they're hosting another marathon in Glasgow on March the 17th and 18th. So if you really like our marathons overall or are in the area, take a look on speedrun.com or the UKSG Discord to find out more about that.
Fun fact, I'll be going. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it up close. I've seen last edition. They had a ton of fun. It's probably going to be a great marathon once again. So definitely worth it to check that out. Or from a personal note. Whoops. What I was trying to go there for was a space boost. I missed the jump. But it's not that much faster. And right now we're making our way to the control deck to alter the course of the ship. And this control deck is right above the data room where we got our missiles right back at the beginning of the game about an hour and 17 minutes ago. Got it just under 3 minutes, I think. So yeah, roughly that. And yeah, this boss fight we're about to do, little spoiler, SCX. Also weak against the wave, plasma combo and diagonal shots, but we use a specific setup for that. So I really focus here for a bit. Okay, let's go. Come on. There we go. Oh. Okay, she wasn't dead. Okay. I almost did it entirely correct. I did it just fine. What I did there, I froze her into place and basically fired diagonal shots for maximum damage. The thing is, if you don't freeze her, she staggers back and then she jumps at you. And in screw attack, if you screw attack into her, we both take damage, but we take more damage than she does. So it's faster to just freeze her and do diagonal shots. And yeah, this Core X fight is the last Core X. And like I said, you can't be hurt in screw attack, so if you jump quickly afterwards, you're fine. The Core X, however, flat, so we can't absorb the ability. That's fine for now. We're just gonna alter the course of the ship and get this nice little escape sequence. Tech, get ready on time because in 1.5 minutes we're gonna finish. Yeah, we make our way to our ship as quickly as we can. And I'm gonna try to waste all my missiles right before that, just because I can. I like to mash. Oops. There is a really cool zigzag pattern you can do with Space Jump, dodging all those platforms, but it's a pretty difficult thing to do. Definitely check out a video of the world record holder if you have the chance. What I'm trying to do here is... Nah, missed it by a hair. What I tried to do there was do a shine spark low to the ground so you can spark all the way through the room and this hangar. And we gotta trigger this fight. This is the second non-X-Parasite boss because this is a fully grown Metroid. These jellyfish-like creatures evolve into these fearful creatures. And yeah, they're weak to one thing only, which is the Ice Beam. And the SCX obviously has the Ice Beam. But she is a lot weakened, so this time we're gonna get the Core X. And we're gonna get the Ice Beam, our final upgrade. And I'm trying to get something here Yes, this is it. The quick kill. Basically, if you deal enough damage, the Metroid keeps staggering. Get ready on time. And if you keep staggering, you can just mash shoot and the fight is all over. So, time. $124.24, I'll take it. Definitely take it. And nice double numbers, I like it. So yeah, few shoutouts I have to do. I have shoutouts to the Metroid Fusion community. They have really great tutorials on this game. It's a good game to pick up, really extensive. If you join the Discord, they happily help you learn the new stuff. This week, a Metroid Fusion tournament has started, so there will be a lot of matches on Speed Gaming about that. I'll be participating as well. So if you want to watch a lot more Metroid Fusion and people who can actually do it better than me, there's your chance. Yeah, big shout out to the Metroid Fusion community, and I want to thank BSG for having me once again. You could wait for the end of the credits for the in-game time, but I'll leave that up to the people behind the desk. It takes a few more minutes for the credits. Yes? Okay, so yeah. We get the epilogue. They were wondering a little bit about how the ship was moved. Well, the computer got a little help. Adorable, ain't it? Credits. Meanwhile, maybe Niana has something to tell us about BSG or anything on the agenda.
Well, we are almost done with Metroid Fusion. Coming up is To the Moon by Cruel, which is really cool, and the incentive has been met as well. So really looking forward to watching that with all of you. I won't be on host anymore, but it will be cool all the same. After that, there's Kelly's Caves 4 by Bad RNG, and there's still an incentive open for that. So if you want to get your donations in, get it towards that. The incentive is for the costume. There are 4 costumes currently. In the lead is Schoolgirl Callie by €24. But if you want to see regular Callie, Gothic Callie, or Android Callie, please put your money towards either one. We're gonna wait for the credits to roll. Meanwhile, we're gonna try and set up the other stuff. So please stick around with us. I have been Yenna, and I'm out.
Thanks a lot for that cheerful hosting, Niana. We're almost done with the credits. Fun fact: in the English version, the whole debug thing is replaced by the translation crew. Because it's been translated in 5 different languages: English, Spanish, German, French, and another one which I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, we're at the end of the credits. We get a nice little art revealing how our tough heroine protagonist looks underneath the suit. Really impressive, fearsome protagonist. Yeah, I mentioned it already, but it's a she. Showing maybe a little bit too much skin for Niana's taste. Or not.
This stream is PG-13, right?
This is still PG-13, to be honest. But the 54, I'll gladly take it. It's pretty. It's within 10 minutes of world record. I'll gladly take that. So I'll throw it over to you guys.
Thanks once again, Box. So we're gonna quickly switch the games around, and then we'll see you guys with